were stressed out about our health, our family's health, our livelihood, whether we had a job or not, whether we had a salary or not, whether we ever got enough salary, will we ever get our full salary or not. So this was a year that was a difficult year. We had to struggle to see how, as doctors, many of you, most of you, as how doctors, you will be the frontline workers and deliver the care that your patients want, at the same time making sure that you had the safety and you had the abilities to be safe yourself. And I think what we have done and what Clovers have done together this year has been nothing short of a miracle. So I know that Nishi and Manish and Dr. Panka and Dr. Nishita will share with you a little bit more detail of the journey. I know some of you will know all of this, but maybe not everybody knows all the kind of challenges that we have faced as an organization. How each one of your challenges, when they add up to challenges as an organization, those challenges add up, right? Because each one have different type of challenges, whether you are a clinical doctor, clinical DA, a field executive, or a support office executive, your unique challenges add up to becoming a challenge. Request everybody put their phones on mute, please.
All doctors, please put your phone on mute.
Uh, unless you're speaking, thank you. So I think this year has been uh, definitely a year that we want to forget, but at the same time, a year that we want to actually be thankful that we are all sitting here today, healthy and alive. In fact, someone told me in early 2020 that the best you can expect this year to be is to, finish it and be alive, because so that was the bar. That was a low bar that we all had to keep. And I think we have all achieved that bar. I know many of us have lost friends and family member, and I think we've had a few Clovers as well who have recently, a DA from Bangalore, unfortunately, uh, suffered from COVID and has left us. And I think that's a very sad moment for us. Maybe Dr. Bimal, you will share a little bit more details about the DA, and I think we will probably take a moment of silence to appreciate his work with Clove, and bless him, bless his soul as well. So, Dr. Bimal, maybe can you interject here and please, or Dr. Anirudh, I think is probably more appropriate given it was in Bangalore. Could you please share the DA who recently left us for the heavenly abode? Dr. Anirudh, are you there?
Sorry, sir. Dr. Anirudh is at the Radio City office to receive the
All right.
award.
Manish, you want to take it, or Dr. Bimal? Any one of you, please, just at least share with the team the sad story.
So, is Dr. Atman on call? All right. So, otherwise, I'll just. So, Amar, this happened in September.
Am I audible now, friends?
Yes, Dr. Bimal.
Yeah. All right. So it's Mr. Venkatesh BM, who was a dental assistant who was working at the Brigade Arcade Clinic of Bangalore CBD, and he was with us since 18th of August 2018. And as on now, he was on EOL. He had not joined our clinics, and it was very sad to learn about that he is no more because he succumbed to some complications of COVID, and his brother shared it with us, and then his wife also informed us. So that is one of our Clovers who left us, but though he was on EOL, but still he was very much a Clover. Over to you, Amar.
Yeah, and I think so. I would like maybe a moment of silence from all of us to reflect on uh, the loss that we are facing as a family. You know, Clove is a family, and I know that many of us know of people around the globe, you know, friends and family who have had either severe battle with this virus and recovered from it, or have unfortunately left us. So just let's take a moment of silence to reflect on, you know, that we are lucky, we are fortunate that we are here, and we bless and wish that the departed friends have find peace wherever they are. So let's take a moment of silence, please. Thank you. So as I said, I think this year has been very challenging. Um, I want to thank all of you. I really do. I think, and I hope that you thank your friends, your family members, your loved ones, because this has been a challenging year for everyone all around. And nobody has been spared from the challenges from this year. So I think everyone has felt it really hard. So I thank all of you for staying strong. I thank all of you for working and doing what you had to do, both working at home, working at work, working at Clove, working from home, working for your families, for your relatives. And I think you have really, in every form, lived up to the leaders that you all are and have become. So I really am so proud that Clovers together have really come out. And as a company, and this is actually a testament that because of our strength of each one of you, the individual strength of yours combined together allowed us to actually cross this year of difficulty. We have, I believe, Clove as an organization has come to this juncture stronger than it was in March of this year. We are stronger, we are more resilient, we are more, we are recovering, we are ready. And I really believe that the best for Clove is now going to come, because our patients are also very much aware of the need for hygiene and sterilization at a minimum. This is something that we have talked about for years, but now patients of every single human being on this planet is now aware of hygiene and sterilization needs, whether it's cleaning their cabinets or washing their own hands or putting a mask on. Everybody has figured out that it is very important to keep your oral cavity safe, secure, and sacred. And dentists and all of you are the ones who actually can help them achieve that objective. So I think 2021 and beyond will be the best years that we were ever had. We have come out stronger. We are introducing on business level, we are introducing new capabilities, new equipment, new services. We will hear some of that a little bit later. And I think we are ready for a new chapter in Clove's history. We are actually going to be introducing some new businesses. We're going to expand our capabilities and services. So I think all in all, we will come out as a group stronger and ready to take on 21. So thank you so much to all of you for being there, for being a Clover, and really holding on to the values of Clove. Thank you so much. Dr. Vimal?
Thank you, Amar. That's really nice to recapitulate the year as it went by. And Clovers, well, you are going to be in for a story. And the storyteller is, the master storyteller is going to tell you the story. And not one storyteller. There are four of them. And all four are very, fond of storytelling. And today we have given them the freedom. Well, it's going to be a story of, our grit. It's a story of our determination. It's a story of our confidence. It's a story of our struggle. It's a story of how we showed a resilience of uncomprehendable measures which was evident in last 9 months. It's a story of togetherness. It's a story where each one supported the other. It's a story which Amar so aptly showed just now by having a silence for an employee who is no more our employee in a true fashion. It's a story which we all scripted together. And it's a story which is written by you all. Over to Nishi, Manish, Dr. Priyanka, and Dr. Harshita for this story. Nishi, please.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. The year 2020, we started with a bang. And yes, it was a great performance. We started with a great conclave. In the month of January and February, we were actually breaking all records. And then this crisis hit us. And as you know, all of you know, our CEO, Mr. Amar Singh, he saw this coming first. And because of his leadership and his foresight and care for the team, we were proactive to close down our operations, keeping in mind the safety of Clovers and patients, even before the government lockdown got announced. And then we remained ahead of curve throughout the crisis. Not only that, we as a team ensured to turn the crisis into an opportunity with the help of all of you. We could review many of the processes with Sir's guidance. We were together, and all of us know that we are coming out stronger. And this is exactly the same sentiments as Sir and Amar just said. We also have, and we want to revisit the journey of 2020 with you. When this crisis started, and you know, there was scare all around, we had a lot of challenges, we had a lot of problems. I'll request Dr. Priyanka to share with us which one was the toughest, and then we take it, then we start from there. Dr. Priyanka, over to you.
Yeah, hi. Just I hope it. So you. So hello everyone. Just a second.
I think it was okay, Dr. Priyanka. Last second, you were okay.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Yes. So we all welcome you for this exciting story of 2020, and it started with when we suddenly heard that there is a lockdown, and I think Clove Dental was the first one to even start with a lockdown. That is, we immediately agreed with the government, and we had shut down all our clinics. But then at the same time, we were seeing a lot of misery around us. That is, a lot of calling by our patients to our doctors who were really in pain and suffering, and people who started with a root canal, it did not get over. People who were planned for surgery, but somehow surgery did not take place because of obviously the lockdowns that happened. So we had to do something. We had to do something for our patients. And there it came as emergency clinics, which we immediately started pan India so that we could reach out to our patients who were in need and who really needed treatment at that point in time. So as we received calls, we were the ones coordinated with our doctors, called every patient who was in pain and problem to our clinics, and we tried to help them and address their issues. More importantly, we also noticed that as the government had said that more than 60-year-old are not allowed to step out, but a dental problem doesn't come with age. Rather, with age, we have more dental problems. So patients who were above 60 years of age, they were having a lot of trouble. And all we thought was that how can we help them? I think we were the first one to start with eConsult. We reached out, we rostered our doctors, we reached out our doctors, they made calls to patients who were in need and who really was looking out for a treatment. That's how we realized that, how much a video call can help us in identifying a patient's problem and, what kind of a medication or what kind of an emergency treatment we could provide it to them. So this was a totally different outlook that we came across, and it was just out of, nowhere. We never expected something like this would ever happen with us. So as we were dealing with this external chaos and these external problems by the outside patients who were not getting attended by their own dentist, I think there were certain internal challenges also that we faced. So Dr. Harshita, would you like to address upon those internal challenges of what all we saw?
Sure, Dr. Priyanka. We had a lot of internal challenges. The next big challenge was addressing our doctors and DAs and getting them together, and we started talking to them. And the next big thing was addressing their fear. So basically, fear is like two things: that forget everything and run away. That's how we see, or face everything and rise. So we chose to face everything and rise. And then that's how we started perceiving that. And then that's how scientifically we approach this fear. And that's where our inception of C19 guidelines started. So for which we have started mobilizing our doctors, and then we had a lot of task force that we had, and then our eminent doctors, clinical directors, training team, and all of them came together, and then we formulated under the guidance of our CCO, Vimal sir, and then we formulated the C19 protocol, which was first ever C19 protocol, especially for our dentists that we started. And this gave us the confidence and the boost to start our practice, so that we can restart our practices. And then the other thing which again started was triage, that we took every step of triaging, every step when they call the DHC, when the patient calls the DHC, when the patient coming to the clinic. So we took the triage of every patient, and then we make sure that the work safety was there, and the safety at every step was ensured and ingrained in our doctors and DAs also, so that work safety and the enhanced safety that was again and again reiterated to all our doctors. And we made sure that that was our mantra, and that made it possible. And with all these things, the doctors gained confidence, and the doctors, when they gained confidence, they started talking to each other. When they started talking to each other, we made it sure that they post it in the Facebook and everything, so that everyone knows about it, pan India, so that they get more confidence. So we started a program called Pay It Forward, and our CAT team also helped a lot in that, so that we pepped up our close spirit. And when we started our clinics, then we had a lot of we showed our close spirit by our dancing videos, like that. So our many doctors who are not used to dancing, we had a lot of doctors who showed their dancing skills, and we were shocked to see that, okay, this doctor also could dance. So in amidst of chaos, also we found that we could dance, and the COVID tunes were like, okay, we could dance dance in the mirror, in amidst of chaos also we could dance. That's how shows our spirit. So
Actually, Dr. Harshita, I would say that was our way of coming back to new normal.
correct.
Because, with all the PPE and, we were clad like from head to toe, which we have never ever imagined. And I think it was very difficult for our doctors also to, wear the complete PPE, and in the mid of the summers, at the peak of the summers, I would say, Wearing that when the AC is also, it's a bit challenging that, it's actually maintaining the right kind of pressure, and working on our patients was a huge task. And this activity was great fun. I still remember that I had gone to visit one of the clinics. I had gone to visit SDA. And when I received this message from sir that it was getting circulated, that, we have a dancing video, I just moved out of the clinic, and sir said, go back to the clinic again and you also dance over there. I'm like, no, sir, I think Anmol would do a fair job. And here we see a lot of videos from various doctors performing, and I think they did really well.
And also, I was just thinking about the procurement of materials and everything. There was an interesting story to it. Sir, I would like you to narrate that story if you remember that regarding that materials.
Sure, Dr. Harshita, thanks. So while, Clinic Ops was doing a great job on getting doctors and DA's confidence, there was still one tiny elephant in the room which needed to be addressed, which is called aerosol, right? So the problem is this elephant is small, invisible, and how do we address it? And media was all over the place saying dentistry is the, most COVID sensitive or, risky profession. And it was on the top of the line in Times of India on front page, right? So everybody was concerned that how do we address this aerosol? There were high definition videos shot like movies, night vision, when, aerosols were flying all around. They were staying in the air for 20 minutes and 59 seconds. They even knew how many seconds aerosol will stay in the clinic, So this was something which needed to be addressed. For a brief period, I think in Chennai, saliva was more popular than saliva. And, this is where I think Amar stepped in, not many know, but he's a mechanical engineer, And, we had a lot of alternatives. A lot of our doctors also, suggested few things which were cost effective. But I think in Amar's mind or Sir's mind, more than cost, what was more important was it should be functional. And everybody should be able to, just looking at it, say that, yes, this works, And that's where we shortlisted, ASDU, which we now everybody knows because we all have it. And this ASDU also, it has an interesting story. The Chinese, that were only the Chinese people who were making that. And they also did the demo in which, they also showed that all aerosols are getting sucked into it. And suddenly everybody was impressed. And then Amar comes up and says, guys, there is a problem in your design, your light should be before the filters. And everybody was zapped. And I think they took care of that design fault. And finally, we placed orders. After we placed orders, we forgot that this is still 2020, They came to Chennai, and then India-China conflict happened, okay? And they remained in custom for almost 3 or 4 weeks. But finally, due to tireless efforts of our SCM team, we were able to get them out and ship it to all the clinics. So that was interesting piece where, top leadership ensured that we keep cost in the side, but we have something functional which our patients and Clovers, everybody feels safe. And I think we are the only ones who still have this. Even after 6 months of this crisis, I don't see this CFD and ASDU anywhere else. But I don't see our Clovers or our patients would have been as, comfortable in our clinics without this equipment. So that was, very interesting. Now, after we did this, there was still the most toughest part of this journey was how do we unlock, how do we open our clinics? And Nishi, can you help us take us through that journey?
Sure. Thanks, Manish. It was a massive task indeed, and it was like relaunching the entire organization all over again. And we had challenges like doctors and DAs not being in town, or doctors not willing to join due to fear. We had problems related to areas falling in red zone and orange zone. Supplies were not reaching on time due to courier services were not available or were impacted in many areas. Teams had to be trained in new protocols because everything was new. The quality protocols were new, in-clinic protocols were new. Patients were to be informed. We could do only limited treatments. Not all the treatments were allowed. We could not afford to call or onboard each and everybody in the organization. So we had to bring new modalities of onboarding the teams. But as we all know that Clovers can't be moved by challenges. So all the functions came together. ZCHS took charge of people, zonal head support was tremendous at that point in time. Supply chain was extremely, extremely supportive. DHC, maintenance, HR, quality, training, IT, clinic operations, of course, analytics team, and each and every function came together, contributed, and we ensured that in 11 stages, our organization is back on track. It was a massive exercise which was executed immensely well by each one of you. Thank you so much for that. And while doing this entire exercise, we also got time to revisit all our processes all over again. We saw each and every function. We could find areas which could be revamped or could have been made better. Dr. Priyanka, would you like to share few of those that Clinic Ops picked up? If you can pick up few of them and then talk about that, please.
Sure. So as we all know that, through our messages also, we have seen that we and like all the specialists and the doctors, we are absolutely enthusiastic when we, book a very good case, whether it is a difficult case or a big super specialty case. And I think we have all given kudos to our specialists. But I think this was a time where we actually saw the CCO, that is Dr. Vimal. He actually told us and addressed the importance of clinicals, because I think in one of the quality reviews, what we noticed that we were focusing too much on the booking, even after the lockdown. But what we saw that there are so many clinical cases which are lying pending in orthodontics, in implant prosthodontics, that somewhere down the line, we had just forgotten that particular focus and we were just looking into the bookings of the cases. So then he shifted completely our focus back to the clinical practice. We deep dived into the pendency, and that's where we saw a huge amount of cases which were pending there with us. I think here we saw an amazing contribution from our zonal heads, because who were there with us for the long calls, discussing the complete data, discussing each and every patient, that why was it pending? If there was somebody who was outstation, how are we supposed to reach them? How are we supposed to message our patient, email our patient to tell them what is the importance of their treatment? And I think there's going to be a huge time lapse if we just keep on postponing the treatment. So somehow down the line, we all created that awareness, not even within us. I think we created this between our patients also. And from there on, I think we did not turn back, and we have seen a huge amount of movement in pendency. And this is all thanks to the CCO, our ZCHS, and each and every specialist who's been a part of it. And now I think we have quite a few cases which have got completed. Rather, we've changed the style of messaging. There was a time when we used to give kudos to the specialist on booking, but rather now we do it on the number of placements which are done, number of surgeries which are completed, number of orthodontic treatments which are completed. So this not only helped in completing the line of treatments on patient and getting us happy patients. Of course, this gets you to a happy organization also, because we get back our dues and not, whiling away in a refund or something. So I think this was a very, very good exercise that we took place. And over to you, Dr. Harshita. Can you explain that how a quality review actually changed a lot of things after this?
Dr. Priyanka, I completely agree that quality has brought in a lot of insights to us when they were doing their quality checks in the clinic, the full day clinical reviews, video reviews and everything. And once we got a little insights, then we started a weekly quality review with them. And then which was chaired by our CCO. And then we also started attending them, and clinical ops, and then business heads. And once we started attending, we started taking immediate immediate resolution to the problem. And whenever the quality says that there is some problem or anything, the CCO, Vimal sir, used to call immediately, and then and there the solution was given and everything. So proactive approach has helped us a lot during that time. And then apart from that, quality has also been empowered to now do a financial compliance also. Now that has also brought in a lot of change regarding that. And we have not only introduced, we have reiterated a lot of policies, advisories, and regarding SOPs and guidelines and everything. We have started that. And now the quality journey has not only become a habit, but it has become an obsession for us. As a lot of hand holding has been done from the quality team. They are visiting the clinics regarding the new SOPs and guidelines that has been circulated over. They are not only saying that this is the wrong way of doing, but they are helping the clinical team that this is the right way of doing, and then telling them and even training them to an extent that this is way how they have to do. They have been, I mean, the complete quality team has been revamped, and the way they look at the quality team has now been a little different. So that's how the journey of the quality team has become. And now every Clover, earlier the Clove used to have the quality as a core. Now it has become an obsession of every Clover, that quality has been an obsession. So from...
Right, Dr. Harshita. So, Clovers, as you saw, we were trying to deal with one challenge at a time. And as we were trying to re-establish ourselves, we also had to look at how do we manage our specialists? How do we manage specialist treatments? Because as you are aware, a patient who comes to Clove, he expects that his treatment will be done by a specialist. But now we were entering an era where social distancing was a norm. You suddenly can't have 3 doctors in a clinic because patient would not want to walk into that clinic. Suddenly, doctors who were happy to have somebody in the clinic to chat with, they did not want anybody around. They just wanted themselves to be in the clinic, and no other doctor was required in the clinic. So that was a challenge. So how do we give treatment and at the same time adhere to social distancing? And that's where, initially we started with ortho-only clinics, implant-only clinics. These were the reasons so that, there are no 2 doctors. There is no clinic head in the clinic. Only orthodontist is managing his patients. Patients were given assurance that there is nobody else in the clinic. There is only your orthodontist and a DA. Please visit our clinic. Please continue your treatment. So that was evolution of how we were managing our clinics. It was tough, but that was the only way we could have done it, right? Then, apart from ortho implant, what other treatments? So endodontic treatment, prostho treatments. How do we get our specialists, to do those treatments? At the same time, we also have to remember that those were the times where we had added responsibility. We had responsibility of home. There were no daycares. Kids were not going to schools. Elder parents needed, your help. And some of us had to do dishes, right? So those were the times we started with on-call specialists. So the doctor comes, does the treatment, and goes away. He doesn't have to spend a minute more than what he will spend on the chair. And that's how we evolve. Going forward, that on-call model became a rotational model. And right now, we have specialists who are on rotational and they do their treatment, and that's their primary responsibility. Slowly, we evolved into, orthodontists, implantologists, everybody, crossing their barriers of zones. They can go to any zones to do their work, so that we actually truly move towards a performance-driven, limitless, culture. And that's what slowly, like everybody before me said, we are turning this crisis into opportunity. So that new things have evolved. It has come from our response to this crisis. The other thing, while we were improving all these processes, there was still one more thing, which was about money. And how do we do our financial reconciliations? Nishi, would you help us, take us through that journey?
Sure. Thanks, Manish. this time also gave us an opportunity to review our financial processes. We actually reviewed each financial process of our clinics. And this is where we came up with this, that there are huge gaps in our financial reconciliations at clinic levels. We made a special task force, which was led by Dr. Chirag and Dr. Shazan. And along with finance team and clinic operations team, they put a process to it. And now we have reached a situation where we have a weekly reconciliation available for your own hard-earned money. Now you know that your own hard-earned money is coming in Clove Bank, and it's not lying somewhere in PRM. So there's no non-PRM compliance is happening. So it's absolutely on track, visible to you. We also could come up with the new version of PayReco for your help, and this is thanks to Team IT. They really acted really quickly the moment we shared this challenge with them. We started to review our P&L by the clinic, and we are still in the progress of making a lot of developments and improvements in that area. However, our focus on cost came after this, and that's where new elements, cost factors, which we tried to figure out where are we going wrong. So Manish, would you like to share that some insights regarding that, please?
Yes, thanks, Nishi. So everybody, see, Nishi talked about money, how, all revenues goes to our bank. But we Indians, whenever we go anywhere, let's say we go to buy a car, hum puchenge, kitna deti hai? So cost is something which, we all have to be aware about, right? So revenue, we sometimes get caught up in revenues that, okay, I'm doing this much revenue. But at the end of the day, for a sustainable business, what matters is after removing the cost, what is left in our account, right? And that's where this time gave us, this period gave us a time to look into our cost in realistic way. Where is the most cost going? We had some clinics where consumable costs were only 5% of the revenue, and some clinics where consumable costs were 30% of our revenue. So we had a big, delta there, where some clinics were doing very good effective management of their consumables, whereas on other side, there were clinics where consumable costs were skyrocketing, right? So we needed to make sure that everybody has a, whatever is expected, whatever we think consumable should be in our kind of business. How do we get everybody to that level, and not by compromising on the quality. So you have to balance between the quality of treatment rendered and the cost of consumable. That's where SCM team and led by Dr. Ashwini, they went through a lot of data and they also came up with top 10 treatments where the consumable costs are highest. We had experts from our teams, a lot of zonal heads, endodontists, prosthodontists, they pitched in. They decided, okay, this should be the ideal consumable for this treatment. Accordingly, number of treatments done by a clinic, what should be the ideal consumable, which they should be given. And based on this data, they actually started cutting down our, usage of consumables. SCM team negotiated rates with their vendors. They ensured that, we get better rates. And slowly, we see the fruits of this, rationalization project, where our consumable costs and all costs have started coming, towards what we call it an ideal cost. We are still far away from that, but I think we are on the right path where, surely maybe in 2021, we'll reach the ideal levels where all our costs will be within limits. So that's what I, just wanted to touch base upon.
Manish, I would like to add something here.
Yes.
When actually we started this project and we started working on that, of course, as Manish said, that we are far away from our destination, but at least people have started thinking about it. And we saw analytics team coming to us and saying that, okay, this is how I can show you a dashboard of the clinic, and you can make it present to the clinic. So every department is actually, they have started thinking about the cost for the first time. So that's an achievement for us.
Yes. So, while we are doing this variety of projects, there was one, very important project, which was led by Dr. Priyanka and Dr. Harshita, which was about clinical excellence. Dr. Priyanka, would you like to help us take through that journey, please?
Sure. So as we were talking about the reconciliations, payments, and getting the treatment completed, there had to be a focus on our incidents, complaints, refunds, which were, of course, were increasing due to some or the other reason, because I think it was obvious also post-lockdown, there were patients who were apprehensive to visit the clinic. So we took a turn and we decided that how to address this particular issue. So we started with a clinical call specifically with the CCO. And we asked our doctors to present any difficult case, any challenging case, which probably you have no idea how to go about it, and you don't want to upset your patient as well. So come up here, let's have the head of the departments right in front of us, and all of us, let's have a discussion and come to the right line of treatment and give the best line of treatment to our patients. So clinical excellence call actually started with few complaint cases and incidences, but we are happy to announce from clinic operations side that it has done so well that now doctors want to come up on their own and want to present their case or want to know about their case and even want to showcase that what good things that they've done. So Dr. Harshita, would you like to add something from the South as well?
I mean, like always, Amar used to say that we have so much of, vast knowledge that we have. I mean, the cases that we have and everything, not even a single dental problem that in the world cannot be treated because we have so many patients coming in or anything. There can't be a disease or a new pathology or something that cannot be treated that we haven't seen at all. So this is a wonderful platform that we have just started and everything, so that all our dentists, one or the other dentist would have seen that a case. So it is a best way that we have started our best practices of sharing this knowledge. So this is not only sharing that we have extended our sharing to our public also through our different masterclass and everything. And that we have Q&A and question and answer sessions from our excellent speakers and our eminent doctors from here. If you could tell more on that. Yeah.
So that's what, Dr. Harshada, that in the clinical call, what was interesting was that when we got a suggestion during the call from a ZCH only, that why shouldn't we discuss complaints, which is a huge topic. And for a ZCH to actually come up with a topic of complaints, it can be embarrassing for doctors. It can be embarrassing, for the whole team to know about it. But I think all of them came forward and they wanted to know what was the mistake done. There was so much of learning during these clinical excellence call that I think this learning will still continue, and I'm sure we're going to have different avenues in clinical excellence call as well. So after that, I think what we also thought that how do we reach out to our consumers, and what can be the best way of being scientific also and at the same time interactive. So here it comes. Yes, Dr. Harshita, would you like to tell about some live sessions by our chief clinical officer that we had, on Facebook?
Yeah, that was truly a masterclass, that would we say. Live sessions that we had. The first live session which we had from Sir was awesome, and we had so many viewers, and across the dental fraternity we were having, and then we continued those sessions, and
Let me add on that, Dr. Harshita, you know what? The second topic that we are seeing, that is obsessed with safety, it actually came up from a ZCH, that this topic was actually suggested by one of the ZCH, that, you know what, Dr. Vimal, I would like to take the patient, on a tour around the clinic, and I would like to show them that how is my doctor dressed, how is the ASDU look, how does our clinical services are going on. So I think that's how a Facebook live session of obsessed with safety came up with us.
Yeah, and then we took it over to radio, and then we started our live radio sessions as well, and that went off really, really well. And then Instagram live sessions we had, and from bloggers and mothers and fathers and fashion bloggers, they came in and they did a lot of sessions with us, with our doctors, and there were wonderful interactive sessions we had. And that gave a lot of insight for a dentist as well, that these kind of questions can be asked and we can cater to lot of people. That's what the learnings we got, very good learnings we got from these Instagram live sessions.
So
We
Dr.
even got a
Harshita,
lot of patients
Dr.
actually from them.
Harshita, I would like to say one thing. We had 1180 and close to 1200 sessions, such sessions. So thank you, CAT team. And 1180 opportunities to doctors to be present in the social media or on different platform of different websites.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Clove has given an opportunity for every doctor to become a celebrity overnight. I would say, like most of our doctors have become most celebrities, because not only in Instagram and Facebook, they have given articles in the papers and in magazines and everything. So a really good platform. We have seen a different version of COVID crisis. It has given a good opportunity as well.
And not to forget this leadership masterclass, wherein we had such honorable speakers, and it was moderated by Dr. Vimal being one of the speakers, and we had such esteemed moderators with us, and they answered all the queries by the public. It was completely for public awareness, and I think quite a few ZCHs have also become quite a celebrity here. So I think this was a game changer. Dr. Harshita, would you like to tell about Reels?
It was a really I mean, fantastic idea that Divya had come up with, and this was a funny way of telling the people to how to brush and everything. It was an awareness creating idea, and this has got a really strong in our dental this thing. Many of them had created a very funny videos, and we had run a contest also with that, and sure, we are definitely going to continue in 2021 as well.
We actually came up with a lot of extracurricular things for doctors. Now the latest one which is coming up is, I'm really looking forward to the artwork that each one of the doctors have actually sent us.
The calendar
I
thing,
was
right?
hearing from yes, the calendar.
Yeah.
So I was hearing from Divya that there were about more than 50 or 60 entries, and I'm really excited and looking forward that who's going to be the winner, and we all know who's our judge. So I'm looking forward for that as well.
Well, let me tell you that, I'm hearing from my wife that it's a very difficult thing to select. And she's saying, you guys have made me, choose. There is a tremendous amount of creative energy and artwork that is coming through. So it's really amazing. I hope I'm not envious of her job and this one.
Thank you, Amar. This was Diwali for all of us. We were celebrating Diwali all across, thanks to all the office members that we have, and we all went up to the clinic, and they were so excited. Okay, so now the doctors here, they don't know, because I think we presented the opposite, Dr. Harshita and SNOP. We just told everybody that how much doctors liked it, but here I would like to tell everybody in the office that our doctors really enjoyed it. They loved seeing you during the Diwali time. And doctors, the message that we actually received from them, that these people are working so hard. I am scared of stepping out of my house or coming to the office, and we are coming on restricted days. Whereas these doctors are going in every day. There were quite a few who were told that you are not supposed to touch me or touch my PP and stay at a distance. So they were thrilled about the fact that how much doctors are taking care in the clinic, and if an office person has also come from outside, they are maintaining the complete distance and the sterilization and all the protocols, apart from, of course, wishing each other Diwali.
Yes. So as Dr. Priyanka and Dr. Harshita mentioned, we have a lot of celebrities among us. But just to say, we are not paying any royalties. So nobody's getting any royalties. so it's all Clove property, all right? So, see, a lot of things which we saw in the presentation today, if you look at it, a lot of this originated from CCO calls, this was something which was started immediately after lockdown. Initially it used to be every day of the week. And, first few days, I was not sure why I'm attending those calls, but after 2 or 3 calls, I realized that, this is the call which is setting the whole day for me. What needs to be done, where company needs to be moved, where I need to spend my energy. And, that uncertainty working from home, that, okay, what needs to be done, that went away, and I think it gave direction to the whole company. It gave direction to every one of us, that in which direction we need to think. If we have read something on social media, somewhere we have read it, how do we, bounce ideas with each other, stay connected with each other. It was a very interactive, open session where all Clovers could come, vent their, angers, frustrations, questions, whatever, and things would emerge from there, and it would give us a direction that in which direction company has to move, how do we move in the same direction, debate with each other, but then at the end of the day, agree on, what we need to do together. And same thing happened with, for the Clovers which are not clinical, with Amar's addresses. Amar kept on doing CEO addresses at a regular frequency during lockdown, after lockdown, to tell us in which direction company is going. And it was very open, frank, transparent discussion, which gave everybody, calm their nerves that yes, we are in it together and we are going in the right direction. So that was, yes.
So I have something here. I am in HR fraternity also, and I have a lot of HR friends. And I did not see any one of them doing regular interactions. Forget about the frequent interactions we were doing every day, and they were not even doing monthly interactions with the teams. So couple of my friends said that we have not interacted with the senior management for last 1 month or 1.5 months, and this was absolutely different for us, because the transparency that we had from senior leadership was really amazing, and that's why the entire organization was aware what is happening, what is the plan. So that's another different thing that I think we have
yes,
here.
absolutely. Yes. So apart from this, a lot of other initiatives which as an organization Clove has taken, and I will take a moment to appreciate our senior leadership to take these initiatives, because it was a tough year for everybody. So even though we had to send people on EOL, we ensured that the health insurance continues. We ensured that they get a top of COVID insurance which was paid by the company. We also ensured that we come up with a EERF fund, employee relief fund. A lot of our employees benefited from that. They had hard times at home. They reached out to the committee, and the committee made sure that they get help at the right time. It was a proper process put to it. But the thought behind all these things is more important than the process, that, everybody has to be taken care. It's a tough time and we are all in it together. Even though we were not able to give OMC at that time, but we ensured that high performers, the people who are actually putting their heart and soul into it, they were appreciated by emails, by rewards, regular intervals. It was, the human side of Clove came out during that time. So I think in crisis, it shows your true character, and the Clove character shined during those days. So that's all I had to say. And Nishi, over to you. To talk about some bad habits.
Yes, so it is, I'll call it old habits, not bad habits. It's actually, it was a time when we actually corrected many of our old habits. Actually, we had habits of giving higher discounts, and, we were focusing only on booking, less, focus on the completion and treatment rendering, PRM non-compliances. So at least these three that, we could really catch, and we are working towards that very, very, very strongly. We rationalized our discounts, we simplified our offer manual. The complications in that, the confusion in that was also an old habit which we are removing. PRM compliance is a lot stronger because the audit by the analytics team is much, much higher. Dr. Neelam's team is very, very passionate about it, and we are very, very focused on PRM compliance at this point in time. So these habits are changing. We could focus on these habits as well, and thanks to doctors, they have been absolutely positive about it. So that's one thing that I will say is one of the best thing that has happened to us. We have been able to correct many of those old habits. if I say there are many other things, there are many other processes, there are many other functions we have been able to make difference, but it was not possible for us to bring it in few hours. So that's why we brought few broad ones, and which were absolutely, stark, and we could actually bring significant difference in that. In the end, I would just like to say on my colleagues' behalf, 4 of us, that we had challenges, but Clovers were together always, and care and compassion of our senior leadership team ensured that we come out stronger. So thank you very much. And this slide shows the passion and the feelings of Clovers. When life gives you lemons, we make lemonade. So that's what we did. So thank you very much. Stay safe and take care of your health and your loved ones' health. Thank you very much, and Happy New Year 2021. Over to you, sir. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, friends. You can hear me? Thank you. So thank you so much. I did ask any of the zonal heads who would like to speak for 2 minutes. So Dr. Sheetal has expressed that she would like to speak something. That's the only name I have. Dr. Sheetal, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, all. And
Dr. Sheetal, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Unmute yourself. Go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon, all. And thank you, everyone. Nishi, Dr. Priyanka.
We still can't hear you.
I've already. Are you able to hear?
Dr. Sheetal, we can hear you. Yes.
We can hear you.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was
Okay.
muted. Go ahead, Dr. Sheetal, please.
Good afternoon, all, and thank you, everyone. Sir, Amar, Nishi, Dr. Priyanka, Dr. Harshida, Manish. It has been definitely the challenging year for every one of us. Being organization part of, if we think about that ways, and even like personal, if we think everyone has had their, side of challenges which everyone has faced. But I feel that these times have been a game changer for all of us, because they have been the perception changer for me. Before lockdown, I think from 19th of March 2020, we had a very different perception about the clinics, the clinic heads, thinking about working with only one doctor and one DA, managing, everything, resources, depending upon how, whatever we have, we can just, we used to ask more and everything. But I think after 19th of March, the perception of everyone changed. Everyone, we could do work according to whatever resources we had, and we have actually come up with amazing and flying colors. I feel simple one-liner: tough times do last, but tough times don't last, but I feel tough teams do. And I think we as a team have really made this year an amazing year, and definitely with lots and lots of challenges, problems, pains. But I think if we don't have pain in life, we will never be able to cherish the happiness that we get. So thank you, sir. Thank you, Amar. Thank you, everyone, for the amazing training, for the amazing time we have gone through, and for the amazing changes that we have in this organization, which is really the one of the very good organizations to work now. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Sheetal. That's really a pleasure. That's really a pleasure hearing you. Friends, I do have something to say here, because this fabulous story telling by these great storytellers has been very amazing, and it has been very inspiring for all of us. But probably I feel that none of this would have come true if we would not have the support from our investors, our senior management. I would like to place on record my sincere appreciation and thanks to our investors who placed their faith in me, led by Chairman Global Dental Services, Mr. Louis Shekinowski, who looked after us during the times when we had nil income. It was really remarkable. And we owe our thanks to all of them, the complete senior management, investors, and all of them who took us through those very, very tough times. I also would like to talk about Amar Singh here. Well, guys, I know you have touched upon, but the kind of
I do that, Dr. Rule. I talk about myself. You don't have to talk about me.
I don't think, Amar, you will do justice, The tenacity and the vision, what he possesses, is beyond comprehension of most of us. And the way he can put across a thing which comes to you as if probably you have never thought about it. It's because of his cajoling, constant interventions that brought us to introspect and come out so strong during these last 7-8 months. It also was a very strong support by him so that we could all keep together. Because that was something which, like some of you have brought out, that our management kept talking to each of the Clover. Like that was a decision taken on day one that we are going to be, in direct communication with you. But what you probably didn't know that, the support, what I enjoyed from Amar at the back end was such phenomenal, which made it possible for me to take certain actions straight away and move forward. When it came to investing something of a very big amount in making our doctors and clinics safe, he didn't even blink one eyelid, even when we knew that we don't have that kind of a money. Straight away, he said, spend any amount of money which you have to spend. And the same words came from Mr. Louis as well, that our doctors have to be safe. We have bought PPE at such exorbitant prices when none of the other dentists in the market could afford. Most of the clinics were closed because they said that PPE set is costing something like 500 to 600 bucks. The item, which was something like 30 rupees. The face mask, so-called N95, we bought it for 495 rupees because we wanted our doctor safe. And day one, every single clinician was given N95. This came from somewhere. This came when we were down to absolute zero earnings. Nobody at this side ever even thought of saving money because it was a blanket clearance from Amar Singh. So on behalf of all of you, I convey my thanks to him. We came out with the protocols and guidelines, I agree. But it was Amar who gave it the shape. We wrote a paper, a beautiful paper, which I agree that it was actually the first paper in the country. But Amar picked it up and put it down and into such a beautiful way that it became 10x. So what many of you who said that, it was done by all of us was actually done by him, which we took the credit. But I think, he allows us to take the credit. I can go on talking about Amar, but I know he is feeling very, restless and embarrassed. So I'll leave it here. But Amar, my thanks to you. Friends, we have some of our teams who I think made us proud during this time. And one which are least, talked about is the team finance. The one who is least talked about is the team HR. I tell you, there are teams who did such wonderful job during this time. We had such a solid support from them that but for them and their overwhelming forward movement with us at every step was the one which made it possible for us. How the people have to be managed, how many, each single person, how to be mapped was done by HR. Every single person, saving every single penny. How the doctors will go back to clinics, how will they be trained, how will the DAs be trained, was possible because of the team training. Otherwise, we would have been lacking. And when the clinic was to be opened, who was there? Who said, I'll give you the clinic within a day or 2 days, and I'll give you it perfect? Team maintenance. Team IT was cooperating with them. And throughout this period, we had something like probably a couple of thousand of the webinars. Team IT. It was their team which put it together. And also they were constantly, modifying their systems at the back end so that we become stronger. And who was the one who is running the e-dentistry platform and calling up patients and keeping them, far away, so that in our clinic, we don't have a center where we spread disease, our DHC. These are some of the teams which really did absolutely class work. The team quality, how they laid down the quality protocols and how they said that we are going to visit the clinic before the clinic will open. So their visit to the clinic says, okay, we are ready to operate. And what did their visit made us possible was that our clinic is free from infection and now it is safe for our doctors to work. That is team quality. Op executives combined with clinical ops. You have heard them, both of them, the leaders, as well as the zonal heads. They took the whole teams together. All the doctors were kept together. Every single doctor who felt that he was hesitant or who was in any way not mentally so strong that he wants to go, we said, will not be called to the clinics. No doctor was called to the clinics unless he was sure of himself that he wants to go to the clinics. Team work done. And the team analytics. Sitting at home, they were overtime working as to how will it go. The people who were looking at pendency, the team pendency, I'll call it team pendency. They worked out each and every single patient who was left behind and whose treatment was not done so that we can carry on with this. Patient care team sending messages and how to take it further. The category management people who made sure that even during these times, we continue with moving forward and we bring in, more and more number of patients. The team CAD with their massive approach to this problem as a whole really has made sure that we are at some platform today. We had a lot of, people who joined us during this time. We had a lot of people. A lot of new Clovers have joined us in the last 4, 5, 6 months. They had to, as Amar says, that you have to, join the train. You have to climb up while running. The train is already moving at 100 miles. You have to run and climb up. I'm so very happy that they not only climbed, they are now leading the train. They are running the train. We are enjoying because of them. Friends, this period of 9 months, as everyone said, it's been a period of immense turmoil across the globe and also for Clove. At times, we were not sure that in which form, which way we are going to be going forward in this. How will we come out of this? We were not very sure. But the back support what we had of our investors, led by Mr. Louis, and then taken up by Amar, I think we are standing here today at the end of this year. Year 2020 comes to an end with a very happy word from all of us that we are here together. And we would not have been here unless we were all together. And we contributed immensely to each other's happiness also. With this, I pass it on to Amar to say the final words. I know you have some of the doctors would like to speak, but I'll request if you can send your emails to everyone. Over to you, Amar, please.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Vimal. I really, listening to the great story and just reflecting on the amount of work. Last week I was talking to someone, a dear friend of mine here. I'm in California right now. And I was telling that person that this year was probably the hardest year that for me personally that I've ever worked in, right? Hardest because it was a year where you had to struggle and worry about 1,800 people that work in your organization, right? And it's a difficult challenge to make sure that you're able to balance the needs of individuals, this ensuring their safety, the needs of our shareholders, the needs of our business, the needs of our clinicians, the needs of our support team members, balancing all of that while facing uncertainty in front of you. Every single day that we went through, particularly the first 3 months or 4 months, the first 3 or 4 months, I think all of us, your management team members, I can tell you, doctors, your management team members have worked harder every day. I know because I was on the Zoom calls with the leadership teams 8, 10, 12 hours a day nonstop. We were on those calls, and each one, while we were in April, when our clinics were shut and most of our clinical staff were home and unsure what's going on and maybe coming on to Zoom on a few calls, the leadership team at the support office was working every single day 8 to 10 hours, including weekends, if not longer. So I want to just make sure that all of you recognize that the support that we get, the support that we all are getting from our leadership team. I'm talking about, yes, Dr. Vimal has acknowledged our shareholders and our directors. I'm talking about our leaders here. I'm talking about Dr. Vimal. I'm talking about Nishi, I'm talking about Manish, I'm talking about Hemant, I'm talking about Vikas, I'm talking about Priyanka, I'm talking about Harshita, I'm talking about Manish, I'm talking about, all of these, Sufal, I'm talking about Dr. Ashwani, I'm talking about all the members of the leader managers that we have. And Anita, I can go on, please. I'm telling you every single one. I'm not taking few names. I'm telling you every single one of the managers who were involved managing teams of functions. They were working very hard to figure out what does it mean for my each respective department, my function. And all I can say to them is thank you so much. I know that you guys have had a very difficult year. I hope that we never have to go through such a year again in our lifetimes or in our children's lifetimes as well. But we did, and we have come out ahead. And let's hope that 2021 will be a brilliant year. So thank you so much, everyone. Happy New Year for 2021. And I know that we have a new chapter opening up in tomorrow onwards.
Thank you, Amar. That's really fabulous. And friends, with this, we come to the end of this fabulous, really excellently put together talk show, the storytelling. And Nishi, I never knew you could do it so well. So it's really fabulous, absolutely amazing. And we realized the potential of Manish Jovan-Putra today. I never knew that he could speak, with such emotions also. He has always given me a cold shoulder till now. Now I know. There's a very warm guy here who understands the nuances of what is happening across. And Dr. Priyanka and Harshita, you always have been one of the best actors and actresses what we had, because you cannot manage, 900 dentists if you're not one. So thank you so much with this. And zonal heads, folded hands, namaste, happy new year to you. We can all unmute and say happy new year to each other if you want. Let there be a chaos.
Happy
New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Come on, Happy New Year. Yes, I want to hear more. I want to hear more. Happy everybody. Answer your phone.
Happy New Year.
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 Thank you so much. Bye bye. Jai Hind.